Hey guys, it's Maggie. Today I am not doing a movie review, and so I'm gonna warn you, unless you are a figure skating fan, you might as well just turn this off right now because this is mainly for the figure skating fans, and I am a huge figure skating fan. I mean, really, really obsessive figure skating fan. So, thankfully we have YouTube so we can broadcast ourselves and talk about whatever we want. So, I decided I'm going to discuss the figure skating season throughout the different competitions. The Grand Prix events are taking place right now, and we just had the first event, which takes place in France. And anyway, so I'm just going to kind of talk about some of the performers, what I thought about them, and yeah, so on and so forth. I'm just going to talk about the men and the women's events because I don't watch pairs. I used to back before the new system, but now I really don't care for them at all, and I never have been a fan of ice dance. So I'm just going to talk about the men and women because that's who I like to watch. I think I'm going to start with the men. So this time, the French the French competition had let's see, I wrote it down because I tend to forget these things. But Brian Joubert, Rippon, I'm not really sure how you say his last name, from the U.S. Brian Joubert was French, so he was skating in his hometown or home country, and Tomas Verner from the Czech Republic, and Nobunari Oda from Japan. And so I'm gonna be honest, these guys are not my favorites, some of my favorite male competitors, so it wasn't as exciting to me as some of the other competitions will be in the future. But regardless, I still watched. So I'm going to talk about Brian Joubert first. So Brian Joubert, he is a man's man kind of skater, very masculine, powerful, very strong. His jumps are huge. I mean, he's just got a lot of. I mean, Scott Hamilton called him a meat and potato skater. And I think that's a great um, way to describe him. He reminds me a lot of like Elvis Stoiko because he's just got lots of force and power behind everything. He's not very artistic. But I really don't mind that because some men are just very, masculine and energetic, and if they try to be dainty and elegant, it just looks weird. So I actually kind of like that about Brian Joubert. What I don't like about Brian Joubert would definitely have to be his attitude. I think that he is so obsessed with the quad jump, as I know he's the quad king and he can do the quad. He did 3 in a competition a few years ago, and that's great, but he just seems to think that, no one, you should not be able to win a competition unless you have a quad in your arsenal. And, that's starting to kind of kick him in the butt because he is doing the quad and it's not getting him anywhere. Great example here. He blew up in this competition. This is in his home country and he did not rise to the challenge. He was the favorite, but he fell several times and just he did not have a successful quad or anything. So I think he attempted the quad 3 times and he just did not have luck. He did the first attempt, but he tried doing a quad salchow later on and he didn't even get close. So, yeah, what can you say? I'm not really surprised. He does have a habit of being real inconsistent, particularly at the beginning of the season. So I can't say I'm really surprised. He'll just kind of try to forget about this and just move on with the competitions. But if I have to say one advantage about him is that he is freaking sexy. I mean, that man is so hot. I mean, I'm not as I said, I'm not really a big fan of his, but man, I'll just watch him because he is really hot. And I think he should get extra points just for that. So yeah. Anyway, next dude is Adam. I don't know how to say his last name because he's never really competed on the senior level too much. Adam Rippon. Anyway, he's a United States skater, and I think he is adorable. He represents everything that young skaters should represent. He is innocent, and he's got such a freedom and wild abandonment about him, and I just love watching that. Of course, he's not perfect or anywhere close. He's very young, but he is just, I mean, I love the way, especially in his crossovers, in between the jumps, he has this way of just kind of inviting the audience into his, he wears his heart on his sleeve and I don't know, I just really love the way he's able to invite an audience into his performance. So I thought he did an excellent job, especially for, a senior, one of his first senior competitions. I think he did great. I think we can expect a lot from him. Okay. Tomas Verner, he's from the Czech Republic. You know what? I have never been a fan of his because, he's just an unreliable skater. And I don't think he's that attractive. I mean, I think he's a very good short program skater. He usually does very well, but he's one of those skaters that can be in, like, third place in the short program and then go to like 14th place in a long program. He's just unreliable. He's very inconsistent, even though he has a monster quad jump. He's a great jumper. I don't know. He's not very consistent, so why really root for him? And also, I mean, I just think he's got problems with his artistry. He is a bit husky. Um, but I'm just not really a big fan of his, so I'm not surprised that he got second place here. I think he should have been lower, but because of his points in the short program, he obviously got second. But Nobunari Oda. Now this guy, he's the guy who won the gold medal here. As I said, I told you I'm not a big fan of any of these guys, but I really am not a big fan of his because he is really not an artistic skater. He is a talented jumper. His triple axels are incredible. But yeah, I'm not really a big fan of him, his artistry. And honestly, when I think about skating, I like to think of artistry. I like to think of skating as an art form. So, and he really never brought that to the table. But man, this season, he really addressed that. He realized that he's technically wonderful, but not very artistic. And he really did his homework here. He did a Charlie Chaplin routine, which is, a huge crowd pleaser. And it was a comic routine. So, I mean, it's original. He's going to stand out from the crowd because, you see all these skaters doing lots of, classical routines. But then you go, oh, that guy, the Charlie Chaplin guy, or the Asian Charlie Chaplin. But, anyway, I was really surprised by this. I loved it. He was so entertaining, and I think he totally deserved to win this competition. As I said, I mean, I think that if he keeps on this track, he will definitely have a chance at medaling at Vancouver. But we'll see. We'll see how the rest of the season carries out. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. So I'm going to go to the women's for the next video. So if you'd like, just click on the next one. So see ya.